Yeah, so here we go. I figure I put on some Caribbean-esque music from my repertoire. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting vibes that 1000 HP Media most likely is immigrant. That's what I'm getting. My own personal opinion, my own personal supposition. Yeah, that's 1000 HP Media right there. Got his photo. It's 1000 HP Media without the glasses. Let's vibe out for a little bit before we get into this. Yeah. Yeah. Let's calm that down. Let's calm that down before it gets too hot. Before it gets too hot. Before it gets too hot. So, you know, I had some weird issues with the audio that was going on, or excuse me, not the audio, but the comment section in 1000 HP Media is a little thing, right? And just to give some preface to this, what's going on is that somebody seemingly or allegedly exposed Ice Cream Vlogs, and they exposed him as a person. I don't know exactly who. I don't know if it's even confirmed, but they try to expose that they said that, or Mike Ray Vlogs tried to say that he knew the true identity of Ice Cream Vlogs. It seems like Ice Cream Vlogs has sort of terminated both of his channels and sort of taken down all of his uh, videos. And then 1000 HP Media jumps into the fray. I'm sure y'all saw the video from yesterday of him basically flashing a gun for no fucking reason. You know what I'm saying? In the situation, it's like nobody was really talking to you, bro. Nobody was really talking to you, bro. And you're like jumping out to sort of like just on a man-to-man level. We don't actually have to bring race into this. On a man-to-man level, you jumped in front of the bullet that was actually intended for a specific man, right? A man that was basically taking a Mac 10, metaphorically, and spraying it at everybody and saying that they were this and they were that, they were scammers, they were this, that, and the third, right? And so he was doing all that, and the natural repercussions for all of that is that you put yourself in a situation where somebody could possibly expose you and put you on Front Street like you're putting other people on Front Street. Yeah, they probably had 1000 HP Media on the thumbnails, but really nobody was talking about 1000 HP Media, really. They were just mostly talking about the dude, Ice Cream Vlogs, because he's more of a bigger figure than 1000 HP Media, which is weird that he refers to himself in the third person, but whatever. Um, and so this dude jumps up on live or jumps up on a video yesterday and flashes like a gun on YouTube, which really should get his page like completely turned down. I mean, shut down. I mean, he did. He's trying to say that he didn't threaten anybody in this video that we're about to go that he just posted. Um, he's gonna try to go into like, well, I didn't actually do a credible threat to anybody specifically, but dude, you flashed a gun. Now, see, let me back up a little bit. Like, I'm not on no Ice Cream Vlogs, you know what I'm saying? 1000 HP Media, Johnny Come Lately fucking train. If you look at the fucking lives the call-in shows from Organic, I actually called in to Organic. This is back when I was living in Denver. I actually called in Organics, I actually cursed his ass out. This is right before this is while around about the time he was thinking about going to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Which I think he would have ended up dead fucking around them people in Atlanta with that attitude. I'm glad he didn't. But it was like playing around, flashing guns and shit like that. And I was like, listen, and this is around the time also that he was like playing around with white people at the gun range and shit like that, thinking that that shit is sweet with him. And I had to remind him, like, hey, you're literally living in the same fucking city as Philando Castile. Like, you're living in the same city as Philando Castile. You fucking around and playing around with guns is showing a motherfucking bad example to the people in the fucking city. And guess what he did? He low key tried or said something that made me believe that he was making a threat against me. And I told him very clearly, like, listen, I'm the type of motherfucker that will fly to your fucking city, and I damn sure would have, to fly to your motherfucking city and go straight to the police office in your city to go ahead and file a police report. And when you have a concealed carry license, somebody being able to snippet a video of you making a credible threat is a very good way of getting your CCA revoked and taken fucking away from you. Like, it is an easy way. And obviously, in that situation, he didn't do anything about flashing a gun. It was just the words that he was using at the time. That video ended up getting deleted. Organic can figure out why he deleted it. Whatever that video ended up being disappeared after that conversation. I think Slim was in the conversation at the same time, asking like, "What the fuck is going on?" While I was cursing his ass out because he called me a bitch on some other shit. Like when I was calling in, he called me a bitch on some shit, and I called him the second time. But anyways, like I don't like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like let me back up, because I believe that like 1000 HP Media is a black immigrant. That's what I believe. That's what I believe, because a large amount of what he's doing is lacking of context when it comes down to how black men are treated in America, right? So when you're playing around with guns and shit like that, and you're in a society that's built on slavery, what's really going on is those people don't want you to have a gun. So yeah, you may have a legal right to carry that firearm, but unless you actually have a direct connect or a hookup or somebody knows you on a person-to-person level, they are going to take it that they're going to assume, because of the mass incarceration situation in America, that you have a felony and you're not supposed to have that gun in the first place. So if they're going to treat you, even if you have your CCA or your concealed carry permit or CCP, wouldn't it be CCP? But whatever, that you have your concealed carry permit or whatever, it doesn't really matter. They're going to assume that you don't have it in the first go round. So what they're going to do is they're going to probably approach you, or more likely to approach you, especially as a black man, with lethal force, right? And when you're doing that shit on a public platform and you're demonstrating or modeling that behavior to other potential black people, like, that's what gets you in fucking trouble. And black immigrants, in my opinion, have this notion that, yeah, I could just, I could do it. It's written down in the law. Whereas black people, which is what I had to remind Organic, we have a sort of unwritten sort of thing that says, you may have a right to do it, but it's not prudent for you to do it, right? It's not prudent for you to be doing that type of shit. So he put out that he had a gun. He put out the fact that he had a gun, and he stated it, in my opinion, in a way that was like, threatening. I would have, if I was real, and I saw him pull out a gun, or if I was anybody in the 32 gang, and I saw him pull out a gun on a live where nobody was even talking to him, like nobody was really directing heat towards him, in my opinion. And all of a sudden, this side dude pulls out a gun. All of a sudden, the focus is now shifted 100% on you, right? We're no longer talking about ice cream vlogs, or people are no longer focused on ice cream vlogs. People are now focused on you because you pulled out a gun, right? And you're making it sound like you're willing to. I mean, y'all are in the car community or something like that. Like, what if somebody is in Virginia and they roll up to you randomly at a gas station? Now they got to worry about whether or not you have a gun on you, and you're going to perceive that this random encounter is actually some sort of, threat to your life. And, you could put yourself and your family in a large amount of danger by putting that out there in the atmosphere. But what more so he's doing is now he's trying to take it back. Oh, my, what's called is messing up. There we go. Now he's trying to take it back or try to roll it back. And that's not how it's going to work, bro. Like you're rolling it back like a bitch, in my opinion. You're rolling it back like a bitch. You need to just apologize. Say, hey, real to real, anybody in the 32 gang, I completely apologize. Me flashing a gun was completely inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? I completely 100% apologize about the situation. There is no excuse for it, right? I completely apologize. If you guys took that as a threat, I apologize. Like, I'm not on that. In fact, I'm not going to be doing this type of content for going further because I really don't want to have any smoke. I don't want you guys to feel like you got to be threatened by me if you ever see me in public. I'm not on that type of stuff, and I apologize for doing it. That's what you could have done. That's what you could have said. But what you said instead was what we're about to go over, which has so many problematic things in it. It's not even funny. So let me do this. Let me go ahead and expand this. And actually, hold on one second. Let me go ahead and expand that and go ahead and take this off. Because we need to address something, man. This type of bitch ass behavior in the black community needs to just go on somewhere, man. It needs to just go on somewhere. Hold on. So let's look at this again. Let me go ahead and put this back up here. And let's look at what you have to say.
Hey, what's up, man? 1000 HP Media, back at you again, back at you with some good content, man. Okay, man, look, man, this shit is going way too far, man. Like, these guys, Real to Real and Stunner Reeds, they done posted videos up there with me holding some damn gun talking about...
Wait, pause. They don't posted a video of me holding some damn gun talking. You act as if they photoshopped the fucking video of you, dude. They didn't photoshop a video of you. You recorded yourself holding a fucking gun. You had the fucking video in your video editing software. You could have deleted that section out of your video. You kept it in there. You published it to YouTube. They got the video of that you published and decided to keep that part in there, and now they're addressing it. You make it sound like they photoshopped some shit, went into Adobe Studios and photoshopped some shit, and that's how you now have a gun. You know what I'm saying, in your hand. Like, listen to this shit. It's the lack of responsibility for me. Like, you're trying to throw a rock and hide your hand. Like, that's exactly what you're trying to do. Let's back up.
Okay, man, look, man, this shit is going way too far, man. Like, these guys, Real to Real and Stunner Reeds, they done posted videos up there with me holding some damn gun talking about I'm threatening them or something like that, man. Did I say I was threatening y'all, man?
Dude, it don't matter if you said anybody specifically. It don't matter. When you bring a firearm into your possibly interpreted as menacing statements, they are very intelligent to take something like that as a threat. They are 100% intelligent if they were to take something like that as a threat to their very lives. Like I said, if you make a statement like that and they randomly run into a gas station with you, or they're at a convention and they roll up into, or they're in Vegas or Miami and they randomly roll into you, they would not be stupid to think to themselves, this person possibly has a firearm and this person has already made it known that he's capable and willing to use it. Right? Like, honestly, you've already made that, you put that out in the air. Right? And I don't know why you put that out in the air, because it's not like you're the only person with a firearm. I mean, other people have firearms. I mean, honestly, other people have firearms, right? So you're not the only person with a firearm. The best way to resolve a conflict is to dissolve the conflict, the true conflict that you're having. Like the situation got escalated by you just jumped yourself into the situation, but don't try to gaslight and make it seem like they crazy because after you flashed the gun, they should have known you was playing. No, nigga, that don't work like that.
Like, y'all, Come on, man. Now y'all using me for clout. Y'all, come
No,
on, man.
I gotta stop it
Y'all
every five
skimming down
seconds.
to my level.
Don't try to be self-deprecating either. Like, no, they're not trying to use you for clout. When you threaten some, when you put yourself in a situation where somebody can interpret that you're threatening their life, like clout is out the window. YouTube shit is out the window. You already had a past, which is again why this is culturally already known for Black Americans, which makes me believe that you're a Black immigrant, right? I'm gonna keep on saying it. It makes me believe you're a Black immigrant, that you're from a Caribbean island somewhere. That's what it makes me believe, right? Because Black Americans already know, man. He Black. He got a pass. He's just trying to be funny on fucking line. We ain't worried about him. Let's worry about ice cream blogs. That's I would assume, and I think if I was talking to Real or CJ on 32s or anybody in the 32 game, I'm fairly confident they would, or Microwave Blogs, I'm fairly confident they would say, yeah. If I got to focus on 1000 HP media, or if I got to focus on ice cream vlogs, I'm gonna focus on ice cream vlogs. I ain't worried about him. Fuck 1000 HP. Nobody give a damn. Who cares? He's just making jokes online. Who cares? He's just a funny nigga. Who cares? Like nobody was approaching you like that in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Like I don't. The hell. And then you brought out a gun. Of course. Now all of a sudden it's like, man, y'all should have known I was just playing around. Y'all should try to get clout out of me. The fuck?
I only got 5,000 subscribers. Y'all sitting there talking about,
Listen.
threatening y'all and all that stuff. That's not what I said. I got a firearm. First of all, okay. Secondly, I am not no felon. I don't know who made up that.
Who cares?
Thing, man. I think that dude, Everyday PJ or whatever.
You're bringing up non-facts. Who cares?
Made that garbage up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Who cares?
That's all cap.
Who cares?
Don't believe what that dude's saying, man. He's chasing clout too.
Nobody's chasing clout, dude.
Basically, I'm not. That's not even what I'm on, like with my page, like so.
No. It is officially now what you're on with your page. And like I said, if I was them, I wouldn't even go on some gangster shit. I would just report your shit to YouTube. I would do a police report in my home city. I would try to figure out what home city you're in. I would go ahead and make sure that police report is filed in your home city. So if you have a concealed carry permit in the state of or whatever state you're in, I would make sure that gets revoked based off of your credible threat of violence. I would get a restraining order against you, which would also invalidate your ability to carry a firearm. And then I would take those police reports and I would go ahead and send that over to YouTube, and I would get your channel taken away. That's what I would do. Like, you don't fuck around with somebody's life like that. Like you don't fuck around with any sort of threats like that. You don't threaten with a gun. You don't threaten. Anybody who actually has a gun knows that you don't threaten with the gun. You use a gun in self-defense. That's how you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to say, hey, I got a gun. No. It's like, hey, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get away from this situation and avoid this situation and disperse this situation. I don't have a responsibility to do something like that, especially depending on what state you're in. But I, as a reasonable person, am going to try to diffuse the situation. But if it gets to a point where I need to use a gun, I'm just going to use a gun. I don't need to give you forewarning. You did forewarning for a reason, right? You did forewarning for a reason, in my opinion. And if they interpreted that reasoning to be you to threaten them or pre-threaten them, okay, well, then that has consequences. Like I said, I'm a civilian. I'm not on that type of shit. If I was them, what I would do is, like I said, I would file a police report in my state. I would figure out what state you're in. I would go ahead and make sure that police report gets filed in your state. I would go ahead and do a restraining order against you directly, which would take away that gun, your ability to carry that gun while that restraining order is in place. And I would go ahead and live my life, right? With those things in place, I would go ahead and live my life. That's what I would do. And I would make sure I take all those police reports and take it to YouTube and make sure that your YouTube page gets canceled or taken down because of your credible threat. That's what I would do. Like, you're laughing this shit off like it's like nothing. Like, dude, come on, man.
This is what I'm doing from here now. I'm not going back and forth with Real to Real no more, man. I'm not doing that.
Of course you're not.
Talking about no 32.
Because you don't fucked up.
None of that crap, man.
Because you don't fucked up.
Everything that I'm talking about on my page from here on out is gonna be 100%.
Because you ain't got no choice.
It's gonna be news, pretty much.
Because you ain't got no choice.
Like, with
Because you ain't got no
a little
choice.
twist to it. You know what I'm saying?
Because you ain't got no choice.
From here on out, like, you know what I'm saying? These guys, you know, you should rename the 32 gang the Butthurt gang, man.
Nah.
They making up crap, talking about Real
Wait.
Terrell just did on this Real Vlogs thing, talking about I'm threatening him. Like I didn't say nothing about him with no.
Listen, it don't matter. If you had said everything you said without bringing a gun into view of the camera, then you could say all that shit. You could say, well, hey, it wasn't a credible threat, and I didn't say anybody specifically, and blah, 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 blah. When you bring a gun, a reasonable person should assume that the threat is directly to them. Like, I don't know who you were trying to give that information to, but on a personal level, they would be stupid once a gun is actually displayed to not think that the threat is aimed at them. Like, honestly, you should, if there are 32 people in 32 gang, you should have 32 restraining orders. Like, honestly.
Pull up with no gun and none of that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I'm just letting niggas know.
How does anybody know that? Nobody knows what's going on in your mind, dude. That's stupid for you to say. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on in your mind. Like, nobody knows that shit.
I do walk around with a tool on me. That's all it is.
And again, that's the information that you don't need to say to anybody. You do not need to tell anybody that. Okay, so functionally, if you have a firearm and you're telling everybody that you're walking around with a firearm, well, then what they're going to do if they want to actually pursue you is make sure that they have one more gun than you. They're going to assume you have one gun. They're going to make sure that they bring at least two. Like, that's all that you're doing by telling people that you have a firearm. You should move quietly. You should move. By the time you need to use your firearm, you've already made a string of bad decisions that have put you in the wrong place at the wrong time, in the wrong situations, and in a bad situation with the wrong people. You've already made several mistakes by the time you have to pull out a fucking firearm. All right? Even if it's in a situation where it's like an unknown or undisclosed, still, you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. All right? So by the time you've made all those mistakes, like, the firearm is the last thing you want to talk about. Right? Like, what the hell, dude?
Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that is, man. Niggas is taking this shit way out of proportion.
No. They're taking it very seriously because you flashed a firearm. That's what's going on.
Like that, man. Like, and the thing is, like, I don't know why they care about what I got to say so much.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Diminishing. You came out on that on. Listen, it was funny, but this shit ain't funny no more. When you pull out a gun, we ain't talking about comedy no goddamn more. I could play both sides of the situation. I could jump on the organic side because I can see the entrepreneurship, but I can jump on this side because I can see sort of the scummy things going on. But hey, it don't really matter to me. But once you bring out a gun in a situation and you're doing threats like that, let's not do the diminishing thing. I don't know why y'all care about me anyway. As if a person under 5,000 subscribers can't shoot somebody dead. Like, what are you talking about? Do you have to have 10,000 subscribers per bullet that you have in your gun, and so therefore, since you have under 5,000 subscribers, you can't afford a bullet for your gun? Is that what you're saying? Because if you're not saying that, you talking about 5,000 subscribers has nothing to do with the situation at all.
Like, why do y'all care so much what I got to say?
Don't nobody care. People
were
affecting
y'all money or something like.
Yes, you are, but ain't nobody talking about you. Ain't nobody really was talking about you. People were talking about Ice Cream Vlogs. Nobody was really talking about you. You jumped in front of the situation. Well, nobody talking about you, nigga. You jumped your ass into the situation. Like, honestly.
Like, what am I doing that got you guys so up in arms to think that, you know what I'm saying?
You sucking your own dick right now.
5,000 subscribers.
And
you got Real Terrell got 100,000. Stunner Reese about to have 100,000. All these guys, you guys is in the stratosphere compared to my page, man.
How does that mean anything? This is a professional clout chaser trying to use comparative clout as an excuse for his actions. Like, honestly, nobody gives a fuck about none of that. You brought out a gun. All that shit's to the side. Ain't nobody talking about no goddamn subscriber count when you bring out an actual gun. You know what I'm saying? On your live. On your video. Stop it, man. Stop it.
So I don't get what the big deal is. Like, y'all, I mean, that's crazy. I don't understand that, man. But like
Nah,
I said,
you just playing.
with my page, like with my YouTube page now, man, like everything
Yeah.
gonna be facts. I'm not gonna be clowning nobody,
Bro.
what they got, they possessions, nothing like that, man. Like, I'm only gonna be coming.
So what was the revelation then? Why are you changing? Listen. You could have continued the same content. Nobody gave a fuck about what. Listen, I think most people, even if you were clowning on them, probably would think to themselves, man, that nigga funny. I'm gonna get him back though. I'm gonna get him back. He kind of funny with them teeth in his mouth. I'm gonna get him back. That little t-shirt he got on, that shit kind of funny. I can't lie, but I'm gonna get him back though. It was on that type of shit. You brought the gun to the situation. You lifted up a physical firearm in the situation. You changed it from internet jokes to a much more serious situation. Right? That's what you did. Those were your actions. Like, take responsibility for it. As a man say, hey, real to real 32 gang, hey, I apologize. That was stupid and reckless of me. I apologize. That was not something I should have done. You know what I'm saying? I want to make it clear I was not threatening anybody, but I can see how you guys could take it as a threat. You know what I'm saying? I 100% apologize. I do not want to threaten anybody's life. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't what I was trying to put out, but I apologize for it actually being received that way. I honestly apologize. Like, that's all you had to do. And then you go back to being the black comedian dude who just talking shit. The reason why you have to switch up your content is because the kitchen is hot and now you want to exit the shit. But like I said, I'm a civilian. What they really should do is, again, they should file police reports in their states. They should figure out what state you're in. They should file corresponding police reports in your state. They should actually file for a restraining order against you, and that restraining order will restrict your ability to actually keep those firearms that you have, such that if they randomly run into you, they would have a better security situation, feeling that A, you ain't supposed to be around them, and B, you're not supposed to have a firearm with you while that restraining order is in place. That's what I would think. That's what I would do. And the shit's getting serious. Probably you talk to an attorney and you realize the shit's getting serious, and now you're trying to back away from the content, back away from the situation. It's too late from that. Like, honestly, if they are stupid enough to fall for this type of non-apology when you have a gun flashing, then if you end up shooting them, then the responsibility is on them for being stupid enough to just go with what you're saying right now and dismiss what you've done with what you're saying right now.
Coming out with facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only gonna be facts with a complete twist to it. Like,
you could have had that.
Talk about me with the facts. So
could have had that.
All these raffles and stuff like that, like, unless I see some inconsistencies with it, I ain't gonna say nothing about it. I'm not gonna say nothing about Rail with his box Chevys or Stunny's box Chevys or none of that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? It's funny and all that, but you know what I'm saying? You got some real sensitive people out here, man, that don't got thick skin.
No.
Just, you know what I'm saying? They just sensitive, man.
Man, you try to victim blame. At the end of the day, you came out with the gun. And if they're handling their shit like responsible adults, right, and in responding to you and exposing the fact that you've done that, I mean, honestly, that's called consequences for the shit you did. Like, don't try to turn it around on them. Like, the only person who looks like a bitch in this situation is you. The only person who looks like a bitch in this situation is you. Like, not them, honestly.
Man, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I get it. You know, I know people are sensitive. You know, some people ain't really, you know.
You can't come. Really listen. I know that you're trying to low-key make jokes, but you're not the joke person anymore. I don't think you realize that. Like, you're no longer the joke guy anymore. Like, once you brought the gun into the situation, ain't nobody taking anything that you say as a joke. Like, honestly, you're digging a hole way bigger you know what I'm saying, then you actually should be in. And with this little, with trying to make jokes, all you're doing is trying to end. All they're gonna take that as insults at this point, right? As further insults. So they're gonna interpret that as you made a threat with a gun, with a firearm, a credible threat with a firearm, and then you're now following that up with a non-apology and further insults to antagonize the situation. Like, you're doing stupid shit.
Like that, man. They really sensitive. You know, they claim to
Nope.
be thorough, but you know, they cry at night and stuff like that, and
What?
pillow and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? But um, at the end of the day, man, like I said, that's what's gonna be with my page. Like I'm not doing no, um, you know, like anything I say about organic, it's gonna be inconsistencies, man. I'm not talking about his house. I ain't talking about his cars and all that stuff like that, man. His raps, whatever raps he want to get, that's what raps he want to get, man. But if he do another raffle or if he do anything that's inconsistent, I'm definitely gonna say, you know, definitely got to speak up about that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that I feel like you guys really need to know. You know what I'm saying? So
No.
I just feel like I gotta address this stuff, man, and put this fire out right now, man, because you know you got people on the internet, man, turning this thing, trying to flip this into some whole like thing that is not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm too old for that, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used to be on that crap when I was a young nigga, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not with that shit no more, man. I got kids, man. I got stuff going on, man. Like I said, man, with this matter of fact, the YouTube.
Man, see, let me pause it. It was running a little long. So the last thing you're talking about is you got kids. Okay, again, then act like a grown ass man. Like, what if your kids are watching this type of shit? Are they gonna learn that they need to get daddy's gun out of the closet or wherever it is and threaten their quote unquote enemies online too? Like, what sort of example are you setting? You're talking about you're a grown man addressing other grown men. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're rambling a whole bunch of shit, and it seems like, or it comes across as you're like a bitch ass motherfucker trying to plead to not have consequences associated with you bringing a gun into a fucking conversation that had nothing to do with the fucking firearm. Like, you jumped your ass into the middle of the conversation and then brought a gun into it. Like, what the fuck? Like, and now you're trying to be, well, you know, this ain't even that big of a deal. I don't have that many subscribers. You know, we much more mature than this. Or I got kids. Like, nah. There are consequences coming for your actions, dude. That's how that works.
Money, I mean, that is not even worth me even arguing and spewing all this toxicity.
You trying to act like it's equal. Like, you're clearly, in my opinion, you have narcissistic personality disorder. Like, that's my opinion in the matter. Because the things that you're saying right now is like let me back it up. Let me let y'all hear this shit again. Go ahead.
I got kids, man. I got stuff going on, man. Like I said, man, with this matter of fact, the YouTube money, I mean, that is not even worth me even arguing and spewing all this toxicity and all this toxic shit anyway. Like,
If it wasn't that, like, you're seeming to be very, very dismissive. You seem to be a person who's putting yourself up on a pedestal and trying to look as if this situation is so beneath you. And because of that, that's why I'm thinking that you possibly have narcissistic personality disorder. You may or may not have that, but that's my own personal opinion. Or at least you're showing red flags to me about that. But it's like, you could try to diminish the situation after the fact all you want to. Like, if you brought a gun into the situation, they have a right to respond to that situation with the same threat level that they would have. It's like if, no, I'm not even gonna do an example. I'm not even gonna do an example.
it ain't even worth it. Like, I make so much more money on what I do in business and all that stuff like that. Like, I don't. It's like crying over spilled milk. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Well, now you're trying to set up to where if you do lose your channel, then you're going to be making money elsewhere, and that's not that big of a deal. Again, it's not about all that. These extremes, these hyperbolic extremes that you want to take this situation to, is not really necessary. All you had to do was just keep your mouth shut. That's all you had to do. Skip the day. Skip the video. Or if you're going to make the video, keep the gun out of it. Like, what the fuck? I thought the video was about, well, Ice Cream Vlogs isn't a racist, and that's probably not him, and this, that, and the third, and he supported black people, and blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, a gun pops up into the middle of the fucking conversation. Like, there was no need for a gun. You could have said everything you needed to say. You could have kept your concept the same way. People would have given you the comedian pass, and that's it. Like, no big deal. But you had to jump your ass into the fray with a gun, and you're not doing an apology. Like, this is black man this is a descendant of American slaves to another unidentified black man. I don't know if you're a descendant of American slaves or a black immigrant. You were giving me hellifying amounts of black immigrant vibes, right? Like, you have no historical context for any of the shit you saying. Like, you have none. That's what it seems like to me. And we're going to get into that in the later half of this fucking video where you talk about somehow you can't do content against white people.
All this stuff going back, like, you know what I'm saying? This shit is just toxic, man. Like, this shit is toxic as hell, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I do on the internet, like, it's on some funny stuff, blah, blah, blah.
No, it was on some funny stuff until you brought a gun into your conversation. Until you flashed a firearm into the conversation. It was on some funny stuff.
Comedic type vibes and all that stuff like that. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? But
that's what you did.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a real cool dude to be around. I got a lot of friends, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not no isolated guy, none of that crap, like some hater guy that was bullied in school and all that stuff, trying to bully people on the internet and Twitter.
Listen. All this shit you saying don't matter. I know that you're trying to low-key say that you got friends that you could roll with, just like 32 Gang. Listen, all that shit doesn't matter. Nobody gave a fuck about any of that shit because you were just a funny comedian dude on the internet. Before all of this, before you flashed that gun, did nobody give a fuck about you on that level, on your personal level? Like, nobody really gave a fuck about you. At some level, people have to give you some level of respect because your face is on the internet. You're putting your face out there, unlike your partner or your friend or your associate. Ice Cream Vlogs, you were putting your whole face out there as you were saying what you were saying, right? So at the end of the day, people gave you a write-off. People gave you a pass. And if I'm wrong, please let me know. Because I don't think I'm wrong. People gave you a pass. You fucked this up for yourself. Like, you're trying to say, well, I'm not that. No, you weren't that guy. Now, you were that guy. Now you're somebody different. Now you're somebody different.
Fingers and all that stuff, man. Like, that's not even me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not me at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was cool in high school. I had all the bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right.
It is what it is. Like, so,
all right.
Y'all to come on here and try to perpetuate who I am and all that. And
what do you mean perpetuate? Do you understand
dirt on me?
Wait, pause. Do you understand the meaning of the word perpetuate? Like, they're not perpetuating anything. They're interpreting your actions is what they're doing. So they're not perpetuating anything. They're interpreting your actions. Stop it.
All this type of stuff, like this stuff, you know what I'm saying? It really make me laugh, you know what I'm saying? But I just been thinking about this stuff today, like we got Stunner Reese, you know, talking to his van about this stuff, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got Real to Real, like Real to Real, he the most sensitive out of all of them. Like, if you ask me, like.
There you go. You know, wait. I thought you wasn't gonna have this content, and now you're scrolling yourself or meandering yourself right back into this putting other people down content, right? Like, if you're gonna change your content to something else, you don't even much have to have this type of video where you're giving everybody a signal that you're just gonna change your content. You just change your fucking content, and everybody will know that that's your changed content when somebody makes a video about you and you don't respond and you still stay on your content. That's all you had to do. You don't have to preface to people that this is what you gonna do and blah 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 blah. You just do it. You know, man code. The fuck is going on with this dude?
About all of them, like, you know what I'm saying. I know he cry on his pillow at night. You know what I'm saying. But
Again,
like I said before, I get it.
Again, do you think that that's smart? If you ever have to run into this dude in a face-to-face situation, you're on the internet questioning this man's masculinity after previously having a gun where he interpreted that as a direct threat to him. Do you think, and you now at this video, at the time of this video, you knew that he took that as a potential threat to him directly. Do you think emasculating him, further emasculating him, when you were trying to say that you don't want to make any more content about this individual, do you think that's smart? If you ever have to run into this person, are your words that you're saying right now, will it make it less likely that you guys have a physical altercation or more likely? This guy.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody not, you know, don't got thick skin. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh Lord,
I definitely get it. Like, that's why I commend Mr. Organic. Like,
there you go. There we go. Now we
Mr.
know the dick right.
Like, as much as video, like I said, 50% of my channel is about Mr. Organic.
Oh Lord.
Never made a video about me.
Because he's not going to give you no motherfucking clout. He already said that. He's not going to give you any motherfucking clout. That's the reason why he's not making a fucking video about you. It's not, listen, Organic got bitch ass tendencies too. You know what I'm saying? I've already called those things out. One of his bitch ass tendencies, it was playing around with guns that thankfully he's gotten away from so far as his content is concerned. But one of his bitch ass tendencies was playing around openly with guns when he had underage, well, not underage, but he had some what sounded like kids calling into the show and everything else, right? When it was obvious that young men, we should say, or older or possible children were watching his content too, right? Of him playing around with guns, this is bitch ass behavior, right? Not to mention other bitch like tendencies too. But you over here slobbering his fucking dick, trying to say, well, Organic never made a video about me. You see, y'all 32 gang, y'all butthurt because, look, I talk about Organic all the time, and he don't make a video about... Nigga, he knows you. He knows the content that you make. He knows the shit that you say. He just doesn't bring you up because he doesn't want to cross-promote you, dumbass. That's all it is. He knows that negative promotion and positive promotion is still promotion, right? He doesn't want to actually help your channel grow in any way, shape, fashion, or form. That's the reason why he's not saying anything about you. That's it. That's literally it. On the off chance that 5 people don't know anything about you and that he could possibly send 5 people over to you, that's the reason why it's strategic. It's strategy. That's all it is. It's not an indication of him not being a bitch. Again, he has fucking bitches raw is some bitch ass tendencies. All right? That's some bitch ass tendencies. All right? He has a huge amount of bitch ass tendencies. Just because he doesn't bring you up doesn't mean he's a stand-up guy all of a sudden. He just doesn't want to strategically give you any sort of clout. Like, stop it. Stop it.
It's me. Nothing like that, man. I look at Mr. Organic like a guy who got thick skin and understand that you're going to have people that's going to be a critic of your lifestyle when you become somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like a compliment. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, if somebody's talking about you on a weekly basis or whatever.
I'm talking about y'all, but take it as a compliment. I'm calling y'all all sorts of things. I'm talking about y'all. I'm fucking up y'all money in all sorts of ways. But just think of it as a compliment. No, nigga. No. And even if they did, from a narcissistic window themselves, think of it as a compliment that you're giving them energy, even if it's negative energy. All that shit went out the window when you flashed the gun, dumbass. All that shit went out the window. The fuck?
that's a compliment. You know what I'm saying? You should look at it as a compliment.
No,
And that
it's a compliment.
trying to trade
I flashed
down
my
and all that
gun.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And let me address this. A lot of people ask me why I don't do videos about white people.
There you go.
Um,
Let's get into
I
it.
can't do videos about white people. Like,
Like, you heard that what he just said. Like, there's a whole bunch of content you could do about white people. You do content about DDE and their reckless driving and whether or not that's actually contributing to other, you know what I'm saying, reckless driving events in LA. You could talk about the takeovers, the street takeovers, and whether or not those street takeovers are contributing to those types of takeover events happening, because they happen in Crenshaw too, right? You could have a whole bunch of content about white content creators and their effects on black neighborhoods and black areas. Because think about it, the comedian, I forgot his name, Tony Baker. Tony Baker. His son was killed, and a couple of his friends were killed in a situation where people were street racing, and one of the cars actually hit their car. Right? DDE's, in my opinion, reckless driving that they do, and speeding that they do, and they've even admitted to doing that type of stuff. Right? The question is whether or not they are actually contributing to that type of behavior and that type of culture. Right? You can have a huge amount of conversations about white YouTubers and white people in automotive media and whether or not they are legitimate. Like if you go to Street Speed 717, actually it negates a large amount of what you're talking about the raffle stuff, because on the one hand it does, because it says that basically it is a for-profit business. It's not necessarily a charity. It doesn't have to be separate as charity. However, he does have a huge amount of good content about, hey, well, this is how you actually set it up, or this is the actual amount of money you have to put into it in order to get this amount of money out. And if you're not putting this amount of money into it, then it's questionable as to whether or not you're getting this amount of money out, right? That's a question, right? But at the end of the day, like, there's a huge amount of content you can generate by looking at white YouTubers and actually commenting on them. There's a huge amount of content. You just don't do it. It's simple as that. You just don't do it. But anyways,
I can't do videos about white people, man. No, white people don't want to hear about no black guy talking
oh,
about this.
so again, all the black people who watch 1000 HP Media, he just said that these white people don't want to hear about blah 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 blah. So he assumes that his audience is all white people. So just keep that in mind. All you few black fans of his, he does his content not for black people. He does his content for white people. He just said it to you very clear as day.
Slim Diesel, Street Speed, Judas Garage, and all them guys, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't want to hear that. That's what, like, guys, you gotta understand. It's another guy out there by the name of Life of Palos, right?
And we're not going to talk about a lot of Apollos. But that's interesting that you're saying that you can't do stuff about white people, and yet still you're trying to defend Ice Cream Vlogs as not a racist, when really, an interpretation of his thing could have been a good interpretation of what he's done is that he has basically goaded black people to be his puppets to go after other black people. And I would assume that he's chosen correctly if he's chosen a black person who, and I say black loosely because I don't know where you came from. I think you're a black immigrant, which if you don't descend from slavery, then you're not actually black. You may be African or something else. Who knows? But you're trying to negate the claim of him being racist, which is a responsibility of Ice Cream Vlogs to actually negate that claim. But you're trying to do it by saying, well, I'm black and he supported me. Yeah, he supported in my opinion, a coon-ass motherfucker who basically is saying, well, I can't do a self-limiting statement like I can't do content about white people. Who told you that? Who told you that? I can only down black people because white people want to see me down other black people. Like, you sound horrible coming up with that stupid ass logic. But in your mind, as it came out of your mouth, you thought you sounded so fucking smart.
He got a good amount of subscribers, and he talks about them guys, but he's a white guy. So that's his audience. You know what I'm saying? So I talk about the people in my culture. So
yeah, but you just identified you said white people don't want to hear that. So you've identified your audience as white people, and you're trying to make it sound like you're trying to literally in the same sentence flip the script and say, well, I talk about my culture. No, you don't talk about your culture. You make fun and down your own fucking culture to the point where it's ridiculous, which again makes me now it flushes my mind. And I have to ask, are you a black immigrant? I have to ask that question.
I so happen to be a black guy, and
Again, black where your mama from? Where your grandmama from? Because you're not acting like one of us. We wouldn't Django Unchained ourselves to, like House Negro style, Samuel L. Jackson, gray beard, with the great grandfather of Uncle Ruckus spirit in us. We wouldn't sit up here and try to go all out trying to defend white people like that. We would just be like, okay, well, y'all calling him racist? Well, let's see what he has to say. You know what I'm saying? That's what a real black person would do. Like, y'all calling him racist? Like, it's an Ali Oxenfree. When a one black person calls another white person racist, it's on that white person to figure out whether or not whether or not they can convince all of us that they ain't racist. Like, that's a claim that if one person has to say that claim, okay, well, we will all want to hear the response, because we don't know whether or not you overheard him saying the N word, or you or saw some racist shit that they did in the background. We don't know what the fuck you saw. You could have saw some shit that we never saw, or that person was trying to hide from us. You could have saw Klan robes in their closet. So yeah, if you call that person a racist, we all want to sit back and see whether or not they're racist. It's only the coons among us that want to jump in front of the white person and actually defend them, from an accusation of racism when they didn't actually ask them to do so. Or I would hope that, saying Ice Cream Vlogs didn't email you and ask you directly to defend him on a man-to-man level. And I would hope that even if he did, I would hope that you wouldn't have accepted that, right? But at the end of the day, like, you've already identified your fan base as white. So don't try to switch it up and say, well, I'm doing stuff for my culture. You're not advancing the culture that you're talking about. You're denigrating it. So come on now. We had you on a black comedian pass. Now I'm realizing as that pass gets revoked, it's definitely revoked for me. I can't speak for other people. It's a revoke for me. As I revoke that pass, I'm looking back at your actions like, okay. He tap dancing like a motherfucker, ain't he? Nah, nigga. Don't do that whole I'm doing stuff about my culture. Fuck that. You've already identified your fan base as white, so you're not doing anything for your culture or for your society or whatever. Don't do that. Let's back up so people can hear.
That's his audience. You know what I'm saying? So I talk about the people in my culture. So I so happen to be a black guy, and I look at black YouTubers. So that's just the natural thing for me to do. I can't talk about what Street Speed doing. I don't look at Street Speed.
That's a lie, probably.
I don't what they do is different from my culture. So
your culture.
That. Like, talk about white
Shut
people.
the fuck
why
up.
Would I?
See him smiling through this shit. Your culture. Again, where your mama from? Where your grandparents from? Like, tell me some details, my nigga. Tell me some details. Because you giving me black immigrant vibes like a motherfucker. I bet your grandmama was cooking some curry chicken somewhere. Like, honestly. Stop it. Like, don't do that my culture shit. When really, if I revoke your black comedian card and look at your actions all over again, you're just downing black people. You've been encouraged by a white man to down black people. That's what it seems like. Because again, my thing with Organic has always been like, hey, if y'all can see, look at my comments. If y'all see that he's doing something illegal, talk to the fucking police. And I ain't telling you nothing I haven't already done. Talk to the fucking police. Go call the police, have them look at the situation and go from there. If what he's done is actually fraud, they will arrest him. If what he's done is not fraud, then all y'all doing is hating. But don't talk about it and make content off of it, get views off of it, and therefore get paid off of it indirectly on YouTube by talking about it if it's not an actual crime. If you feel as though you have evidence of a crime, go take it to the police. But what you're doing is not necessarily uplifting black people. You're denigrating black people for you've already admitted that you believe your audience is white in front of a whole bunch of white people. That's what you're doing.
Does that make any sense? You know, that don't make no sense at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just what it is. Like, you know, so like I said before, man, like, I'm just addressing the BS, man. Putting out some fires. Look, real to real.
You ain't putting out no,
you no more, man. So,
bro. You ain't putting out no fucking fires. This didn't put out a goddamn fire. Doing low key shots, not apologizing, making all sorts of excuses in the book. If you think this video is putting out fires, you are a bitch ass motherfucker. You are a bitch. I'm gonna tell you that directly, straight up directly. You are a bitch. Like, this is not how grown men do this shit. Delete this video, put up another video that's about 50 seconds or a minute long, and say, hey, real to real, CJ32, all 32 gang, everybody that thought that I was threatening them when I pulled out a firearm, that was unacceptable. I apologize. I'm not going to be doing any further content that will put myself in a situation where I feel as though I need to defend myself in that way. And I hope that you guys basically leave me alone so far as your content is concerned. But I can't control that. But I do want to apologize. Like, that's all you have to say. Like, yeah, people going to make jokes for about a month or a week or whatever, right? But on a man-to-man level, people can say, okay, I'm a dead this situation. He apologized. I'm a dead this situation. Yeah, he did some bitch-ass shit, but I ain't going to talk about him. He ain't going to talk about me. We dead in this situation. Right? That's what you should do. But don't try to make it seem like you're resolving shit. You're not resolving shit. You've antagonized this shit further. Like with this video. You've emasculated this man saying he crying in a pillow. Now you talk about something. Oh, well, I ain't going to talk about you no more. The real. I ain't going to talk about you no more. Just apologize. I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck? Just apologize. That's all you got to do. It's the simplest shit in the fucking world.
You're gonna have to find some other content.
See, there you go.
That Real Vlogs channel.
See,
okay? You're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to come up with something else. Okay, you're gonna have to do something else. Like,
see that? See that?
You know, otherwise, your channel, your Real Vlogs channel, is gonna turn into a media channel.
Insult.
It's gonna be the same kind of content. You're gonna have the same subscribers as me.
Insult.
How you claim you're doing something different, but you
insult? There you go.
Making the same kind of content like me. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like. You need to check yourself on that, bro. Like, for real talk. So
you listen. If he takes a complaint to YouTube and they cancel your fucking channel, he won't have any. He won't have any content like 1000 HP Media, because 1000 HP Media won't actually be on YouTube. Like, honestly. Like, honestly. So at the end of the day, like, you need to. Bro, you need to calm down. Like, honestly, you on some you still on some I'm better than you shit as you trying to make this video. Which I don't really understand what this video is. Like, you're talking about something, I'm not gonna make content like that as you're making content like that right now. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Just addressing the BS.
Not addressing anything.
Like, comment, subscribe.
No.
More content coming, like I said.
No.
The content from here on out is gonna be a little bit different.
I'm good.
It's gonna be kind of the same in the same way. So
exactly.
Everything we're talking about is like news, you know. News stuff that's happening. Like
You're not gonna rebrand yourself into Life Apollos, man, because at the end of the day, any sort of media requires a level of integrity, and what you're displaying right now is like bitch-like behavior. Like, I'm gonna be straight up with you. It's bitch-like behavior. This whole shit was rambling all over the place, man. It was rambling all over the place. You went from begging for your life, saying that I got kids too, to trying to make fun of somebody and diminish their response to your threat. I would categorize what you did as a threat, right? I would personally, my opinion is that you did a threat. You threatened people in general. Like, and if anybody who you've ever criticized or made long form videos about, if they took that as a personal threat to them, it would be reasonable, regardless of whether you brought them up in that video or not. Because again, it means that anybody who you talked about, if they met you in person, that would be running through their mind. Does this motherfucker have a gun on him right now? Like, I didn't even much try to find this dude. I'm just going to the gas station. He up here too. Like, do I need to worry about this motherfucker pulling a gun on me right now? Because he suspects that I've been following him or tracking him down or some shit. All right? So, this is all bullshit that you're talking about right now. Just delete your channel. And I'm going to tell you what you tell everybody else. Just delete your channel, my dude. And here's the deal. I've talked about everybody. I've even talked about Mike Ray Vlogs. I've even went on his fucking channel and talked about him. Like, hey, at the time he was about to he had a date for prosecution or something like that. I was telling him, like, listen, you need to not worry about this other shit. Worry about, you know what I'm saying, your situation. Worry about hiring an attorney about your situation. You know what I'm saying? I go after everybody. I'm going after Tall Guy Car. I go after everybody. I can find some level of criticism, positive or negative criticism about everybody. I don't hold anybody up. Anybody up. So it's not like I'm kissing nobody's ass. Like, me? None of your business? Me? It's not like I'm kissing nobody's ass. Everybody's seen my fucking icon, you know what I'm saying, up on their chat. You know what I'm saying? They've seen my motherfucking icon up on their motherfucking chat. And they know, like, yeah, he doesn't hold back on anybody. He'll just talk about anybody. If he sees some fuck shit or what he deems as fuck shit, he'll call that shit out. He don't kiss nobody's ass. So at the end of the day, I'm telling you right now, dude, all this shit you did, this was just putting more logs onto the fire. That's all you fucking did. You pissed in their face and called it and said, hey, that's the apology you wanted, right? What the fuck, man?
But, even white YouTubers, you got guys like Aiden Ross out there. You got a lot of guys out there that I could be talking about too. So,
oh, now you can talk about white YouTubers? Oh, now you can talk about white YouTubers? How about you do this? For the next year, you only talk about white YouTubers. You leave black YouTubers completely the hell alone. You don't say a word. Even if they say something about you, you don't respond to them. You only criticize and make jokes about white YouTubers from this point forward. How about that? How about that?
I'm gonna switch gears like that. Just not with the toxic stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's if, of course, they don't get your channel completely taken off YouTube for flashing that gun. That's if that.
Not with the toxic energy. Got too much going on, you know what I'm saying? And it's just not good for the mind and body to keep spewing out this toxic energy. You know what I'm saying? It's not good for your aura and all that stuff.
Ain't nobody taking spiritual advice from you, dude. Just the fuck. Now you turn into a spiritual guru. Shut the fuck up, man. If you was spiritually all the way together, you wouldn't have had need to flash a gun. Stop it.
Like that, man. So that's what it is.
Stop it.
Man, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I see you guys.
Nah. Good. So at the end of the day, that's what we got with this individual. Hold on, let me bring his portrait back up here. Hold on 1 second. Let me bring his portrait back up here. Let me pause that for a second. Let me do Django. Yeah, let me go pull his mug right back up here. Hold on. There we go. So at the end of the day, like, you know what I'm saying? 1000 HP Media, man. This is just some bullshit. This is really some bullshit, man. Like I said, I have no problem with calling out anybody. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to some fuck shit. This was some fuck shit. Like, for real. You jumping in front of the smoke that was meant for Ice Cream Vlogs. If Ice Cream Vlogs is that person, that he is that person. If he's not that person, then I'm fairly confident that a large amount of people who exposed him could easily find themselves in the middle of some lawsuits. You act like if Ice Cream Vlogs isn't the person that was revealed as Ice Cream Vlogs, and he sues civilly for that, and wins, he's gonna cut you a check. He's not gonna cut you a check. He's probably not gonna cut you a check. Like, leave that smoke completely for that man. Like, that man can handle his own business. All right? If he got doxxed in a way that he feels as though he can fight back criminally, I'm fairly confident he's going to do everything he needs to do in that situation. You do not need to speak. I'm fairly confident Mike Ray Vlogs, especially Mike Ray Vlogs, has thought about potentially the consequences of his actions, right? Has thought about the potential consequences of his actions. And if he did it anyway, then he's already said, I already know what's coming to me. Or I know that nothing's going to come to me because I'm 100% correct. But why are you jumping your Django ass in the middle of this, man? Just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. And now you're trying to be ran off. You are officially ran off the block. I'm going to be honest with you. You are officially ran off the block. Okay? Just shut your fucking mouth about any black YouTuber, period. Just shut your fucking mouth. Because we all know that if you were doing the same fucking thing, let's say you went back and forth with Street Speed 717, and then in the going back and forth with Street Speed 717 and DDE and everybody else, you flashed the gun in addressing them as a group, we all know that there would be some arrests occurring and everything else occurring associated with that. We already know that. We already know that. I personally hope that, like I said, they go ahead and file the restraining orders that they need to file, that they go ahead and file the police reports that they need to file, and that they go ahead and report you to YouTube. That's what I think they should do. That's what I think they should do. But so far as like the internet is concerned, man, nobody's anonymous on the internet, me included. Nobody's anonymous on the internet. Ain't nobody anonymous on the internet. Whatever you do on the internet, if you feel as though you could have some level of anonymity and you could throw a rock and hide your hand, ain't nobody can do that shit. You cannot do that shit. You will be found out. At the end of the day, somebody at YouTube knows who the fuck you are. At the very end of the goddamn day, there is at least somebody at YouTube who knows exactly who the fuck you are. Right? You are not anonymous. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to with Ice Cream Vlogs, at the end of the day, my personal opinion about him, he reaped, he sowed. Or he sowed, he reaped. He sowed his seeds, he reaped his harvest. And it is what it is. It's not in any way, shape, fashion, or form unexpected. It's not tragic. He sowed, he reaped. There you go. But that's all I got to say. Because at the end of the day, there's some fishy stuff going on with my comment section. But I just want to remind people that, like, I don't really give a fuck about what's going on in my comment section. I could still post a video to my YouTube channel. And that would be my fucking response.